What's up, guys, and welcome to Luna Wolf Healing. My name is Kelsey. I am your lifestyle and transformations coach. And in today's video, I thought that I would share with you guys, my little story when it comes to spirituality and kind of my awakening, I guess you could say, why I think that spirituality is a part of the key to really becoming your best self and actually healing, deconditioning, growing, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so let's get started. So to start this video off, I thought I'd mention how, I have always had little, signs that spirituality was meant for me. I was one of those kids who loved playing with rocks and crystals. I was one of those kids who often made potions and, Harry Potter, Expelliarmus, with my mom's knitting needles. And, okay. I hope you guys don't judge me too much because I think this is actually wild. This is such a wild experience for me. So please be open-minded. But in my coaching, so I invested into a spiritual life coach in May 2022, and we worked together all the way. We still do now. So throughout my time with her, we've done things called past life regressions. And so I've been really, really finding out some really neat things. And a part of that is, again, tied to my childhood. So when I was a child, I had an invisible friend, and it was a wolf. Okay? And I named her Angel. She followed me everywhere. We went everywhere together. We were like best friends. I always felt super connected and safe and protected around this. And then obviously by the time I was 8-9 years old, and especially because some of the bullying that I started to receive, I disconnected from that. Now, that little story will make sense later, so remember it. So yeah, I've kind of always had this, I've always been interested in tarot. It always intrigued me. I was always intrigued by psychic mediums, but of course, you get some skepticism, especially when all you're surrounded by is skeptics. So I did have those experiences as well, but I was always super just intrigued, wanted to learn. I love magic and I love nature, and I'm not even lying to you guys when I say I have a memory of me doing this when I was 5 and I had no understanding of God or a higher power. Yeah, I was in a Catholic school, but 5 years old, you're in kindergarten. They don't actually teach you too much at that time. And my parents were not actually very Catholic. They just put me in a Catholic school because realistically, they knew that Catholic schools get more funding. I distinctly remember so many times throughout my life where I prayed to something without necessarily understanding what that something was and actually feeling like I'm connecting. Again, this stuff stopped by the time I was a teenager with all of the BS I had started dealing with in my outer world. You can check out my YouTube video on my story if you want to check that out. Trigger warnings. So I got very disconnected from this I didn't even realize it was spirituality at the time. I just, honestly, I thought I was kind of weird. One of those people. But the only reason why those thoughts and feelings started to occur is because of what I was surrounded by, right? Really. There's nothing wrong with this shit. Because one thing that my coach says, and I believe it because I've experienced it myself, and that's if spirituality is a placebo, then it's the best fucking placebo on the planet. So I'm at the point now where the most skeptical person could come to me and be like, you're wrong, and I'd be like, go away. But that definitely didn't come until this 2022. So that's just kind of my story about how I've kind of always had it. I just got disconnected from it, and I disconnected myself from it. And it wasn't until, again, if you go back to my story video, you know that I was an addict until about 5, now almost 6 years ago. Good job, Kelsey. So about in 2018, I started getting sober, and then from there, with getting sober, right, I delved deep into self-development work. I knew I was not living the life that I wanted to live, and I felt so stuck, so depressed, so anxious, and so I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I have no flipping clue how I'm going to get out of this life that I've created for myself, because I don't like it and I want out. I'm over it. Then COVID hit, and actually, I'm so sorry to any of those who didn't get this experience, but COVID was a big blessing for me. COVID allowed me to not go to work and spend more time on myself. And then truly discovering from there that like the work that I was doing was one of the biggest issues. So in 2022, as I said, so at this point was doing self-development work from 2019. It's like 2020 heavy in 2020, but it started in 2019 all the way up until now. It's the beginning of 2022. And in the beginning of 2022, I was like, okay, I know I have some big moves that I need to make in order to start creating the life that I actually want, not life that other people wanted for me, right? So I started investing into myself, and I kind of got over that feeling, that hurdle, because again, like I was not in the frame of mind ever to invest into a coach. I didn't believe that I had the capacity to invest into a coach. I didn't believe that I had enough money to invest into a coach. So what ended up happening was I found a group program, and you could just kind of like pay it on like the monthly, and as soon as you stopped paying it, you just weren't a part of the group anymore. It wasn't like a big deal, and it was affordable for me. I could actually spend this money. I believe it was $250 a month to be a part of this group, and we would meet weekly for like 2 hours. We had, a coach, but then there was a group of us, and it was kind of a neat experience. And then that opened the doors for me to be like, okay, so this is what coaching's like. Oh, this is important. I have a lot of stuff that I don't know that I'm going to need help with, and especially with running a business that I have no experience with, and I have no one around me that has experience with this. So like, mama need help. You know what I'm saying? So I invested into a business coach, and I jumped from paying $250 a month to $2,267 a month for 3 months. That was a $7,000 investment that I made into myself. And don't get me wrong, it was a tight squeeze. But I made it work. And I was like, I did so many amazing things within that program. I just didn't get everything that I wanted and everything I needed. I actually had a mental breakdown in May because I wasn't getting what I expected from coaching. Now that happens sometimes, guys. Make sure you vet your coaches, and make sure you guys as the clients actually have way more power than I think you realize you do. You can say no at any time. So just remember that, and remember that you can interview the coach just like they're kind of interviewing you. So because I had my mental health breakdown in May, I was then like, I don't need business coaching right now. I need coaching, and I think I need something different. And so I found Maggie Pugh, who is my spiritual life coach, and I still work with her to this day, and she's changed my life, right? Like when we started working together, it was very much working on developing my intuition. There wasn't really too much like crazy woo-woo-y stuff going on just yet. It was really just like learning how to trust my intuition. So like we did daily intuition practices. From there, I really wanted to get an oracle deck, and so I did. And that's when I got this deck right here. Right? Like I use this deck all the time. And using this deck, I was able to again kind of strengthen my intuition. And that's really what my first little bit was. And then she started going a little bit deeper and actually like connecting with the universe, asking for signs, channeling, and past life regressions. I kid you not, this shit changed my life. So remember how I mentioned there was I had an invisible friend, and it was a wolf. Well, if you haven't noticed, I'm obsessed with wolves. Okay, and if you know me at all, like there's a poster of a wolf right there. I have a wolf tattoo on my leg. There's a wolf here. I have wolves all around my house. I've always, my entire life, have felt a huge connection to wolves. And in one of my past life regressions, I was actually a healer and with a wolf, and like the wolf was like my guardian. And I remember saying that to Maggie. I'm like, that's so neat, because like I had her, like she was with me as a child. So in that past life regression, my girl Maggie, she can channel, and she can channel your guides, your angels, and she can also channel, potentially if they decide to come through, any past loved ones. So I'm gonna give you two stories here. Two. The first is going to be about the wolf, because I just talked about that. So in this past life regression, she saw the letter G, and she said the letter G is the beginning letter of the name of someone who's on your spirit team. So someone on my spirit team, one of my spirit guides, angels, whatever, starts with the letter G. And I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. And then months later, months later, I started getting really more comfortable with my gifts and realizing that I have clairsentience and I do have clairvoyance if I really just allow myself to experience these things, which I'm getting better at as I mosey on through. And so one day I decided to start practicing channeling on my own. And so basically what I did is I put myself in a meditative state, and when I'm in a meditative state, I make sure that A, I'm protected, and B, I state like any of my angels, any of my guides, please, or any of my past loved ones, please come through to me now, answer this question. So I asked a question. I was like, what is the significance of this wolf? Why is this wolf so important to me? And basically, long story short, what came through is the wolf is my guardian angel. This is a guardian angel that I've had forever, for multiple lifetimes, for centuries, for thousands and thousands of years. Again, like I said, multiple lifetimes. And I've discovered I've lived approximately 555 lifetimes. Like I said, I know this stuff sounds weird. I'm going buck wild on research, guys, so I just have a bunch of random knowledge about my spirituality for no reason. But this wolf has been there for that entirety of that time. And I was like, okay, well, what's your name? It's Gabriella. So I don't know if you guys remember from 5 minutes ago and a lot of chalking, but Maggie saw the letter G. And when she was channeling and saying that one of my guides' names is G, and this was in the summertime, and I channeled this in December of 2022. So I also thought it was really interesting as well that when I was a child, I didn't call my invisible friend Gabriella. No, but I did call her Angel. Her name was Angel to me. So I just think it's interesting that she's my guardian angel. Right? When you start to open up to spirituality, you start to realize that there's no coincidences and everything is synchronicities. So that's when I accept, like, okay, so that's what it is, and that's amazing. Another really neat past life regression experience that Maggie and I have had together is I was in the past life regression, and she was, I guess, channeling, and she was getting words like bug, bud, like BU, and then a hard consonant. So when we got out of the regression, and she was like, does anyone in your family like call you bug or like bud or something? And I can't, oh my God, I still get goosebumps just thinking about this. My grandfather's name was Bud. Like, his real name is Charles, but everyone called him Bud. And he passed away when this happened 2 years before. So, and he was one of the most like significant deaths that I've experienced. Him and I were very, very, very close. So his death was quite hard. I miss him a lot. But having that opportunity to connect, and like he connects with us every single past life, and it was so funny. There was even a time when he didn't want to let Maggie take me out, because he was like, no, like if you're telling us we can have her here for longer, then like we will. He's so sassy. Anyway, so that was just my experience with like past life regressions and stuff. But so like those are some of my experiences with past life regressions, which just has been like crazy. Now, here is one of my biggest experiences when it came to asking for a universal sign. So I asked for a universal sign back in the summer because I was just starting my coaching business rebrand. So I did a lot of rebranding when I started off coaching, and a lot of it just really stems from the fact that I continuously grow, and so my business is growing along with me. I just kind of grow fast, so I start to realize things quickly, and I'm not afraid to change things at the drop of a hat. So like when I first started coaching, I was actually a mental health coach. Then I was told to niche down, so I did, and I niched down to an anxiety coach. Then like I said, I had my mental health breakdown, and I was like, that's not what I'm here for, though. Like, there's more to what I want to put out there, and I'm also not a psychologist. And so then I was like, I really love healing and I love spirituality because I just got into it. And then, so I put myself as like the spirituality coach, which you guys know. If you guys watch my YouTubes, the first few videos I put out there, I'm saying like I'm the spiritual and life coach. And it's like, I came to realize I'm still a student with spirituality, not yet a teacher. So what is it that like I love and I'm good at and I'm already teaching, and I'm like, lifestyle and change and transformation. Like I've done this, and I've done this with kids for the last 15 years. So anyways, that's my little spiel all night. As I was saying, I just did a rebrand of my business, and I was like in my car, music off, just having a one-on-one chat with me and the old universe there. And I'm like, listen, okay, gone through a lot of shit. This is like, a lot of shit's happened. Can we just communicate for a hot minute here? I need to know that what I'm doing is good and it's leading me down the path that I'm meant to actually be going down. Am I in alignment? Please tell me. Show me a rainbow. I'm giving you 24 hours to show me a rainbow. Tell me that I'm in alignment with what I'm doing. And I went to the drive-thru. They didn't have what I wanted in the drive-thru, which was soup. And my intuition popped in, was like, Kelsey, the grocery store's right there. Why don't you just go get a can of soup? And in my head, I was like, oh, but there's soup at home. I can just like do that. And then I was like, no, Kelsey. Go to the grocery store. Send me to the grocery store. There's a fucking rainbow on the door. Like a big rainbow sticker on the door. It took 7 minutes for the universe to communicate with me and just give me that like reassurance that everything is going to be okay. And honestly, that was probably one of the most powerful moments that I experienced with getting a universal sign. It was such a big sign, and it happened so quickly. And honestly, that's probably one of my biggest things right now, is me connecting with my angels, because I get angel numbers all day, every day. Sometimes it's too much, and I'm like, y'all need to settle down. Anywho. So tapping into my spirituality, I have actually got way more in tune with who I am much quicker than I know I ever would have not tapping into spirituality. Tapping into spirituality has forced me to be more open-minded and have like a bigger picture-esque look on things, trying to change my perspective. Tapping into my spirituality has taught me how to be more trusting, more in the moment. Also this thing called co-creation, which really makes you feel way more empowered if you're the type of person who feels hopeless. And talking, like, spirituality has made me fall in love with life again. Honestly, it's shown me more joy, more fun. There's so many different aspects to spirituality that you can tap into. The reason why I don't teach this right now is because I have gotten myself into astrology, human design, witchcraft, starseeds, oracle, tarot, channeling. There's more, but I can't right now. And so like, I'm that person where I like to try so many things, and I'm just not at the point where I know enough to teach it yet, but I know enough to say that wherever you are in life right now, I highly encourage you to find out where you would be comfortable to start tapping into your spirituality, and then just continuously stay open-minded and see where it takes you. All right, and that is going to be it from me today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys got like a little bit out as to why I think spirituality is important for your journey. And make sure to hit the like, subscribe, links below. Find me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.